Yes, Jumani, also known as Jubian Watchner, is always Arsenal, is always something with this team. But nevertheless, the season has come to an end and we finished in 8th position. Of course, 61 points, which is slightly better than last season, but realistically, we were too inconsistent to even produce anything more than where we finished. You know what I mean? We're not in Europe. And of course, I'm not even upset that we're not in that European Conference League. Um, I'm disappointed that we couldn't perform better in the Europa League to earn us a spot in the Champions League. And the reality is we're just not good enough to be in Europe. So let's take our time to regroup. And of course, we wouldn't be attracting the best players, but we have some core players that we can work with, um, and we have some positives that we could take into the another season. Of course, Pepe, he got a brace today. That continues his fantastic form, I would say, in the latter half of the season. You know what I mean? Big up Pepe. That's a positive sign. Hopefully, he could translate that into the next season because he is a performer. He just needed to settle down. So I hope this is a long run for him. You know what I mean? But I want to pay attention to the defensive part of our team. We have become a harder team to beat in terms of matching up against the big teams and also in terms of conceding less goals. I think we finished the season with the third best defensive record behind Manchester City and Chelsea, and that's a positive. You know what I mean? Arteta came in, even when he won the FA Cup and so on, he came in and he changed the mentality in terms of defensive and winning individual battles. Of course, he can't control the blunders that may occur from time to time, but I must highlight the fact that defensively we have become a better team, but generally we have been too inconsistent and we still far from where we want to be in terms of the fluidity in attacking and dominating games. Dominating games. We would be in the lead and not dominate. We would take our foot off the gas and a bag of other things. You know what I mean? I would say Gabriel found back himself. Um, Mari and Holden didn't really disappoint. Um, so that's some positives to look at. We have Tierney, of course, and Chambers didn't look too bad in the right back position. I'm not too sure what would go on with Bellerin and Cedric, but generally we have our defensive setup is not too bad. Hopefully Leno stays as well. I'm not too sure what's going on with the rumor, and we also have Matt Ryan as a substitute goalkeeper. I'm not too sure if we would keep him. I'm not too sure, but generally our defensive part of it have been good. You know what I mean? In terms of plans for the future, we have some young players we can build a team around. Martinelli, Saka, Smith Rowe. You know what I mean? And of course, some of the defensive players I mentioned. Partey wasn't the best. I was 50-50 with him this season. But I want to put it down to he don't have the right players around him where he could just clean up all the mess, distribute the ball, and let the attacking midfielder do the rest. So Arteta have a very steep hill to climb, which he admittedly said, and I would still back him. You know what I mean? Rather than taking a gamble with somebody randomly, we have a season with no international football to play. So let we make the best of it and hope that Arsenal could really flip the script next year. Not too sure what's going on with the transfers. We know Louise would be leaving. Hopefully Willian heads out as well. And hopefully we could somehow luckily pull in a couple of midfielders and probably a striker because Laka probably may be leaving as well. And I don't think we should rely too heavily on Oba to run us through our entire season. And we have Martinelli, but I still feel like we need to start to buck up. Yeah, so watch now is always Arsenal. Bigger and better next year.